In the headline, former President Olusegun Obasanjo sets agenda for incoming administration, says Nigeria has never been so divided like now. Military says call for interim government mischievous and unconstitutional. 46 people killed in fresh attack on Benue community. And lastly, on the international scene, Zimbabwe plans to criminalize hiring of health workers by other countries. Hello and welcome to the news updates on Trust TV. My name is Martia Umar. Thank you. And now the news in detail. The former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, has set agenda for the incoming administration to urgently begin the process of national reconciliation and healing, saying Nigeria has never been so divided like it is now. Though the former Nigerian leader did not specifically mention the president-elect Bola Tinubu, he said the reconciliation should have the potentials of accommodating the feelings of the aggrieved and assuage the youth. Obasanjo spoke when he delivered a keynote address at a function in Abuja.
National value reorientation that Nigeria requires to build a collective sense of enduring and noble values and national belonging. 2. Governance in Nigeria now calls for thinking outside the box in terms of development financing. It has become inevitable in the face of Nigeria's dwindling fortune in oil revenue, Nigeria's huge foreign indebtedness, and the urgency of diversifying Nigeria's monocultural economy. We cannot be spending like drunken sailors on frivolities and corruption and expect development and growth. Such situation cannot take us into the fourth industrial revolution already underway or prepare us for the fifth.
The Defense Headquarters have described the call for interim government by some persons in the country as mischievous and unconstitutional. The Director, Defense Media Operations, Major General Musa Dam-Madami, said this while addressing newsmen at the bi-weekly briefing on military operations across the country on Thursday in Abuja. Dam-Madami said that those calling for interim government were just trying to be mischievous, adding that the Constitution did not provide for an interim national government. Dam-Madami said the operation said conduct, which was conducted towards the successful conduct of the election to support police and INEC, was successful. He said that the military was also ready to provide similar support towards the conduct of the remaining election in 2 states, where elections were declared inconclusive. According to him, the military is still working round the clock to make sure there's peace and security in the country. The All Progressives Congress (APC) has announced the expulsion of several prominent members of the party, including former governor of Enugu State, Sullivan Chime, Director General of Voice of Nigeria, Osita Okechukwu, former Speaker of the Enugu State House of Assembly, Eugene Odo, Flavor Eze, Joe Mamel, and Maduka Arum. The party has also suspended former Senate President Senator Ken Nnamani and Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyema. The announcement was made on Thursday by Enugu State Secretary of the party, Robert Ugbo, who presented a report of disciplinary committee. And according to Ugbo, the report was ratified by an enlarged state executive committee meeting. The expelled and suspended party members were accused of engaging in anti-party activities during the 2023 general elections. They were alleged to have supported candidates from other political parties which is a violation of party regulations. The spokesperson for the 9th House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, has indicated his intention to contest for the position of the Speaker and of the 10th Legislative House. Kalu said he was well equipped to occupy the coveted seat presently occupied by Femi Gbajabiamila, who has held sway since 2019. Benjamin Kalu is the latest ranking member to indicate interest leading to the House of Representatives, and he believes Nigeria needs a diverse and sensitive leader who understands the different sentiments of the diverse people of the country so that everyone will have a sense of belonging. The lawmaker said for 40 years, the southeastern part of the country has not produced a speaker since the tenure of Honorable Edwin Ume Edoke. He believes that now is the time for the southeast to make up for the gauntlet and is offering himself to lead the charge.
The energy of the new people coming on board is that energy that says we want to see freshness in governance. And that is what I'm bringing on board: transformative, legislative interventions, that is based on innovations. And it is only people like us who have been equipped that will be able to bridge that gap. From 1983 to date, we're talking about 40 years of my people not sitting on that seat. The question is why? Is it that we don't have competent people? Is it that there's no capacity to be there? And it is high time we, introduce our capacity to Nigerians, our competence to Nigerians. That 40 years, 4 decades was long enough for us to hold the gavel for the House of Representatives. We know we will do well when we occupy that position because of what we are thinking of bringing on board that will strengthen our democracy, knowing that this is the fulcrum of our democracy.
It is expected that some other lawmakers will indicate interest in the days to come, each representing different interests. The reinstated Speaker of Plateau State House of Assembly, Abok Nuhu, says the Assembly will continue with its plenary despite being sealed by the police. The State Police Command on Wednesday sealed off the Assembly complex to prevent breakdown of law and order. Ado Musa completes the report.
The sealing of the House followed leadership crisis that is rocking the House after the reinstatement of the former Speaker of the House by a state high court on Monday. A day after he was reinstated, Abok presided over plenary with 7 other members loyal to him in attendance. But soon after the plenary ended, a notice of stay of execution was brought to the clerk of the House to delay the execution of the order after the state government appealed the case at the Court of Appeal Jos on Tuesday. The situation has forced the police to seal the House, but Abok says he is going to have a session on Friday.
We are going to continue with our sitting tomorrow by 8 o'clock. But what we told the Commissioner of Police is this, that we don't understand why the lawyers representing the police are the people pursuing this case. We don't know the interest of the police on this. So now, we told him clearly they have misled the Commissioner of Police. They didn't give him the clear briefing of what is happening in the courts until when my legal counsel came in to explain to the Commissioner of Police what is happening. That judgment has been executed. So we don't know why the police are taking interest on this thing.
Lawyer of the embattled Speaker on his part says the judgment was a declarative. Hence, the police should not prevent his client from getting access to the House.
The judgment was delivered and executed, returning the Speaker, Right Honorable Abok, back to his position as the Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly. That judgment and orders were executed. Indeed, the Speaker sat as the Speaker of the House of Assembly yesterday, and he was going back there to perform his duties today. Because of the, if I may say, misconception as to the position of law, the Commissioner invited us, Commissioner of Police. Now, the position is a declaratory judgment which was delivered by Justice N.L. Musa returning the Speaker, Right Noble Abok Ayuba, as the Speaker of the House of Assembly, is a declaratory judgment. And being a declaratory judgment, it takes effect immediately, forthwith.
Abok was impeached on October 18, 2021 because of political differences with the governor Simon Lalong. The House thereafter elected Yakubu Sanda as the new speaker, and since then, the assembly has been engulfed in leadership crisis. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
And in a disturbing development, at least 46 people have reportedly been killed in Umogide village of Entegba, Doka district in Otukpo local government area of Benue State. The same village suffered invasion by armed invaders on Tuesday, during which 3 people were killed. Chairman of Otukpo local government area, Bakweje, whose son was also killed in the latest attack, told our correspondent on telephone that the armed men surrounded the village again yesterday evening, barely 24 hours after the first attack, and opened gunfire on the inhabitants. Eja said so far this afternoon, 46 corpses have been recovered while many people are still missing. The chairman said his own son and other relatives are victims of the latest attack, which occurred about 5 p.m. on Wednesday, while mourners were burying the 3 older deceased. An unknown gunmen have kidnapped another paramount ruler in Plateau State. The kidnapped monarch is the paramount ruler of the Miship ethnic group of Pangshing local government area of Plateau State, Sunday, the Jap. So, Daily Trust learned that the traditional ruler was kidnapped at about 11 p.m. on Wednesday when gunmen forced their way into the palace in Chip community along Mango Shandam Road. The public relations officer of the Plateau State Police Command, Alfred Alabo, confirmed the abduction of the monarch. You're watching the news updates on Trust TV, still to come. And now we'll take a look at AMLA's female student defies all odds in academic pursuit. Details of this story and more after the break. Do stay with us.
That's great.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the news updates on Trust TV. A look at the top stories. We told you earlier that the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, sets agenda for incoming administration, says Nigeria has never been so divided like now. And military says call for interim government mischievous and unconstitutional. Moving to other stories, shop and business owners at UTC Complex Area 10, Godki, Abuja, have called on the Ministry of Federal Capital Territory to find an alternative place for them before embarking on demolition exercise. Zainab Karai reports that the FCTA have earmarked the complex for demolition. Take a look.
The planned demolition of the complex came as a shock to many shop owners at the UTC complex. A cross-section of shop owners and residents said they have not been informed about the demolition, adding that if they have been informed, they would have looked for an alternative place to continue their businesses.
When we come out in the morning yesterday, we find out that they come and destroyed every, and we went to FCDA. FCDA said that they didn't know about it. So, but today they came and look at the place and promised to come and put things in order.
Yeah, it's covered before, but it's opening now. Bad guys can jump in, break into the shop and do one or two bad things to go outside again. We have been dragging this thing for long. The case is still in court.
Well, it affected me. I lost my tools. I lost some of my, even my colleagues, some of my colleagues, they lost their things there. Anything that happens inside this plaza, it affects everybody here, including my barrow, my carpenter, everybody inside this market will be affected.
Some shop owners also said the Federal Capital Development Authority and the private estate developing firm have interest in using the place, calling on the government to consider their plights and make alternative place available for them, provide food for their family.
I don't know what make them want to demolish it, but we are not happy about it. If they demolish it, where are we going to go?
The urban shelter is part of the defendants in court, FCDA too. But who in particular, who is the main, I don't know. So, but the main case is between the urban shelter, the shop owners, and the FCDA. If we live here, that's another reason we are protesting. It's not that we don't know that here is already old. We know. But make an arrangement for us before moving us. Where are we headed to? Where are we going to?
Urban shelter, they want to remodel this place. They want to build new one, model one. So this building is old, is this and that. They want to bring it down, but there's no provision for another place. So if they bring it down now, where did they want us to go?
When FCDA built here, we bought the shops. So before this place will expire at 90-something years, before FCDA will have right to resell it to another person. And it's still at something years. So you cannot take over the place which is at something years and sell it to another person.
UTC Complex is a hub for printing and artworks and computer village of sorts in Abuja. Zainab Karai, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And now, determined to access quality education, a 22-year-old armless girl in Gombe State, Mariam Umar, defied all odds to secure an admission to study economics in Gombe State University. Mariam, who was born armless, uses her toes to write and do other house chores. Ibrahim Ismail has more.
Undeterred by her condition, the armless-born Nigerian is very passionate about education and is more determined than other Nigerians who have all it takes to access education. The 22-year-old began to write with her toys at an early age as a primary school pupil. I do a lot of things for myself, like taking a shower, makeup, writing and cooking. I attended primary and secondary schools. I copy notes and write assignments with my toys without the support of anyone. Mariam, who sat for the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examinations UTME, has been admitted to study economics at the Gombe State University GSU. Despite her condition, she is ready to adapt to the new learning environment in the university. I am ready to defy all challenges. One must struggle to achieve anything in life. It is about determination. I will endure all the difficulties to study, inshallah. The 22-year-old is now seeking for financial assistance to register in the university and pursue her career. Girl child education is very important. A lady will educate her children if she is educated. Even if she did not get a job, you can differentiate between an educated and illiterate woman. For Mariam Umar, being armless is never a barrier to her academic pursuit, but rather a God-given talent to be different from the rest.
My name is Mariam Umar. I am 22 years old.
Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Gombe.
A good definition of define all arts, and that's a good determination there from Mariam. But moving on, there has been an increased awareness on the need for more farming in Benue State to augment the loss occasioned by flood disaster and increase productivity in the food basket of the nation. In this report, Jimmy Azande looks at the state of irrigation farming in Benue State as a complementary factor for dry season farming. The report.
A visit to the Benue River banks shows its underutilization by prospective farmers in the state. However, a few farmers were seen working on some crops. One of the farmers explained the benefits as well as the challenges of the farmers during the dry season. We appeal to the government to assist us in the areas of fertilizer, pumping machines and pesticides. Between March and April, we are hit by certain pests on this farm, especially on the green vegetables. Many farmers now prefer maize farming only to avoid the pest. The low level of irrigation farming in the state is blamed on poor awareness and cultural stereotypes of the Benue rural farmers.
There's no awareness like that to farmers. And our chief people, if you go to interior villages, they go to farm from morning to evening. So if there is no rain again, they concentrate on the rainy. There are some crops that you will do and harvest during dry season. So for them to continue with it, they will not have that because they have not gone into it.
Most lands at the back of the rivers are owned by people who don't engage into farming at all. The areas are occupied already. There's no point in getting there. Most farmers who might even have intention to go there, they might end up not getting a piece of land to farm. Except if government can revisit by way of saying, identifying those who own the land and those who are willing to farm.
According to agricultural experts, the impact of climate change calls for more engagement in irrigation farming as against the traditional cycle of waiting for rainfall.
You know, what this country has done is, should I say, a lot. Benue has been ignored despite the potentials. The irrigation facilities are nearly absent here in Benue. There are none. You understand? Despite the availability of two key rivers in Nigeria here in Benue, you have the presence of River Benue, River Katsina, and several of their tributaries and other water bodies that are capable of supporting irrigation farming during the dry season. Unfortunately for us, the incentives to go into irrigation farming is not here.
The crops on the farms are mostly vegetables and corn cultivated in small clusters. This is grossly inadequate to meet up with the rising demand, as there is growing need for the government to intervene to boost production.
Now, on an international scene, Zimbabwe's Vice President Constantino Chiwenga announced that the country intends to introduce a law that would make it illegal for other nations to recruit its health workers. The move aims to prevent the loss of valuable healthcare professionals to other countries, which has been a long-standing issue for Zimbabwe's healthcare system. Chiwenga, who is also the health minister, stated that the loss of healthcare professionals is comparable to human trafficking. He announced stricter penalties for those who alleged has deprived the nation of its human capital. And according to the Zimbabwe Medical Association, the country has about 3,500 doctors for a population of 15 million people. And in sports, Nigeria's Rivers United is to take on Young Africans Sport Club of Tanzania in the quarterfinals of the 2022-2023 CAF Confederation Cup competition. The Port Harcourt-based Nigerian champions had qualified for this stage of the competition after finishing second from Group B of the group phase stage. And the news agency of Nigeria, NAN, reports that their opponents are also known as Yanga and are based in Jangwani, Dar es Salaam. Meanwhile, in other fixtures, a North African derby pits Algeria's Osim Alger and Morocco's Asfar. Asfar is the only team in the last 8 which has previously won the competition, having been crowned champions in 2005. This is also the first time the Moroccans are making it to the group stage since the 2006 season. And with that, we have come to the end of the news update at this hour. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.